Coming up tonight, WTOP 10's Kaylee Richmond reports on the return of open skate.
And Mayor Barlow speaks at the New York State Rural Housing Conference.
Plus, COVID cases in Oswego County are on the rise.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Damon Fletcher.
And I'm Reagan LePage.
Levels of COVID-19 transmission in Oswego County are now considered high. That's according to CDC guidelines. From September 19th through September 25th, Oswego County Health says that 496 people tested positive for COVID-19. Of those positive cases, 121 were at-home tests, and 375 were provider tests.
Both the CDC and the State Health Department recommend people wear face masks in public indoor spaces and test if they have symptoms. The updated status comes from the County Health Department continues to offer weekly vaccine clinics on Tuesdays from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. The clinics are held at the Nick Stereo Public Health Clinic at 70 Bunner Street. The local rise in COVID cases comes as the CDC is making changes to masking guidance. The CDC now recommends masking for healthcare employees who may come across patients living in high community transmission areas. The recommendation says employees can lose the mask if they are working in areas where transmission is not high. As of Tuesday, more than 68% of U.S. counties have high levels, with Oswego County among them. But the CDC says the updates were made to reflect high levels of the vaccine and the availability of effective treatments and prevention tools.
The Rural Housing Coalition of the New York is held at the Lake Ontario Event and Conference Center this past week. Mayor Billy Barlow spoke at the conference today to give a presentation about Oswego. The mayor says he stopped by to help the efforts to make quality housing more accessible in Oswego. The purpose of the event was to strengthen housing and community development providers by providing training, technical assistance, and raising public awareness.
The Palermo United Methodist Church will host their 13th annual Harvest Supper on Thursday, October 13th. All proceeds from the event will go towards fuel costs for the upcoming season. The supper will be held at the church's location off of Route 3 and County Route 35. The event begins at 4:30 p.m. and costs $12 for adults, $8 for children, and is free for kids under the age of 5. Here on campus, students and faculty are lacing up their ice skates. Open Skate is back at the Deborah F. Stanley Ice Arena starting this month. WTOP 10's Kaylee Richmond explains how this campus event can provide a new experience for the SUNY Oswego community. SUNY Oswego freshman Sydney Letko is one of the first students to take the ice at Campus Recreation's Open Skate.
This event, which is run by the Campus Recreation and the Skate Shop, strives to provide a safe and fun environment for all participants of all skill levels.
So I've never actually ice skated before. This is my first time.
I actually played hockey for 8 years. I enjoy helping people who are struggling a bit. Give them little tips here and there.
Assistant Director of Campus Recreation Cassie Para, who is in charge of this event, says that Open Skate provides an opportunity for people to try something new.
Unique. A lot of people don't know how to skate. Something that's at a low cost. We have provided the equipment and they can come and they can try it out.
Anyone who wants to attend this event is welcome to come lace up their skates and take on the Oswego ice. Admission is $2 for SUNY Oswego students and faculty and $3 for the general public. And there's no need to worry about bringing your own skates because the skate shop offers $3 skate rentals.
Students who had no prior skating skills tend to leave the event more confident about their skating.
Person that I didn't know just come and cheer me on and was like, hey, you got this.
SUNY Oswego students who had never come to this event before enjoyed it so much that they said they would come back again to another Open Skate event.
It's what Oswego is one thing that it's known for, the ice.
It is the ice indeed. Even though fall is still upon us, students are still searching for the frost on campus. Reporting from the Marano Campus Center, Kaylee Richmond, Oswego Now.
More dates for Open Skate can be found online on the SUNY Oswego events calendar.
The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Commissioner says several hunting seasons are underway in the state. This includes bow hunting for bears and deer in the northern and southern zones, as well as small game hunting seasons statewide. The end of the season is October 21st in the northern zone and is November 18th in the southern zone.
An update on our top story last night, former Syracuse mayor candidate Alfonso Davis explains his arrest to the public by calling it an honest mistake. Davis was found with a firearm when entering the Rochester airport after he had received surgery on his shoulder. He suggested the medication he was given have played a part in forgetting to remove the firearm from his arm sling before entering. He arraigned earlier today.
Governor Hochul says New York State will send a delegation to Puerto Rico to assist and assess Hurricane Fiona relief efforts. The island is still recovering from the destructive storm.
Hochul says the goal of sending the delegation is to provide aid for the island's reconstruction and recovery efforts.
We've had some rain here in Oswego in the past few days.
Storm Team 10 meteorologist Eric Knutson is here tonight. Eric, can we expect the rain to stop anytime soon?
Well, yeah, actually, we definitely can. So, this past couple days, as you guys know, yesterday, it was very, very, very wet out. But luckily, it has gone away, and it does not seem like it'll be coming back anytime soon. With that said, we have a nice weekend way ahead of us. Nice clear skies, mostly cloudy, but nice and warm, luckily, so you can get out, have fun, do what you gotta do. But later on, sweater weather will return. It'll be about in the mid 40s late at night, but once we get back to the daytime, it will be nice and warm again. And with that said, once this weekend is over, the sun will return. Back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up later tonight, the latest on monkeypox risks for the unvaccinated.
And how the federal government is saying they will help those impacted by Hurricane Ian.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
Our son Arjun was born with cystic fibrosis. CF is a genetic disease that shortens lives. When the foundation was founded in 1955, children with CF rarely lived long enough to attend kindergarten. Today, thanks to the foundation's groundbreaking research, advocacy, and care, some people with CF are attending college, getting married, and starting families. We've made amazing progress, but until a cure is found for all people with CF, we will not stop. Help us add tomorrows. Visit cff.org today.
Is there a danger hiding in your home? Unused opioid medicines could harm your family. Find your unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups and learn how to dispose of them safely at fda.gov/drug disposal.
Welcome back to WTOP 10. I'm your meteorologist, Eric Knutson, and let's take a look at your current conditions. So right now we're looking at Oswego. It's mostly cloudy, not really many breaks. All throughout Oswego, Buffalo, Syracuse, Rochester, it's all throughout the state, mostly cloudy. Our current temperatures, not too bad, a little bit cool. Might want a sweater, something like that. Maybe a nice little hoodie if you want to. Current temperature here at Oswego right now is 55 degrees Fahrenheit. But if we go over all the way to Buffalo, Buffalo is 53 degrees Fahrenheit. Looking at Rochester, 53 degrees as well, actually, which is kind of funny. And Syracuse, we're going down to 56. All the way over towards Albany, though, it starts to warm up a little bit with a nice toasty 59 degrees. Here's your tonight's forecast for Oswego. 10 p.m. we're looking at cloudy skies with a low of 52, and around 2 a.m. again mostly cloudy with a low of 51. However, 6 a.m. is looking a little bit chilly, again cloudy, but that will break later on in the day with a low of 48 degrees. Tomorrow, not looking too bad actually. Mostly cloudy, again, with a high of 56 degrees, and light wind. You may want a jacket tomorrow because it might be a little bit chilly for sensitive people. And let's take a look at your extended forecast. Thursday, again, mostly cloudy with a high of 56. But Friday, it actually starts to clear up a little bit with a high of 62, looking very nice. But once we roll back in towards Saturday through Sunday, again, the clouds kind of roll in. They're going to be staying here for the whole weekend, but still not too bad temperatures. 64 high for Saturday and a 61 high for Sunday. But we look at Monday, things are starting to clear up once again. Back to you, Damien.
Hurricane Ian has made landfall along the southwest coast of Florida, delivering catastrophic winds and heavy rain this afternoon. President Joe Biden said that the federal government is on high alert as the hurricane bears down on Florida. Mike Valerio reports.
As Hurricane Ian slams Florida's west coast,
we'll be there at every step of the way.
President Joe Biden is promising federal resources to help. FEMA's top priority, search and rescue.
These teams will coordinate search and rescue efforts by land, air, and sea. We have 128,000 gallons of fuel remained ready for rapid deployment.
FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says they have generators ready to restore power to critical infrastructure. They've also gathered 3.7 million meals and 3.5 million liters of water in Alabama.
There are multiple volunteer agencies that are staged and prepared to perform feeding operations as soon as it is safe to do so.
More than 2,000 flights canceled so far Wednesday, according to FlightAware. If the storm stays on its current track, flooding could cripple the I-4 and I-75 corridors, straining supply chains to and from the state. And while there are concerns damage to Florida's signature crop could cause the cost of oranges to spike, Ian is not expected to pose a major threat to national oil and gas supplies.
I want to add one more warning. That's warning to the oil and gas industry executives. Do not, let me repeat, do not use this as an excuse to raise gasoline prices or gouge the American people.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Hurricane Ian is tied for the strongest storm to make landfall in Florida's west coast, matching the wind speeds of 2004's Hurricane Charlie.
The NAACP is requesting a civil rights probe into the Jackson water crisis, demanding answers and solutions from both the state and the capital of Mississippi. The organization wrote a 25-page complaint requesting an investigation. The letter says the state discriminated against the predominantly black residents of Jackson by using federal funds intended to protect safe drinking water, surface waters, and groundwater for other purposes.
New data from the CDC shows that unvaccinated individuals are 14 times more likely to get monkeypox than those who are vaccinated. This reflects the first wave of data collected by Biden administration on the effectiveness of the monkeypox vaccine. One senior health official says they are cautiously optimistic about the study and think if they continue to roll out vaccines, cases will decrease and eliminate the outbreak.
Western leaders say sabotage was behind an explosion that sent gas spewing from two major pipelines connecting Russia and Europe. Leaders say the mystery is if this is a signal from Moscow, and if intent behind the explosion was to intensify its energy clash with Europe. The conflict comes as Russia is continuing their military efforts in Ukraine. Former CIA Director John Brennan says Russia has the capability to commit such an act, making them the likeliest suspect.
Pipelines are only in about 200 feet or so of water, and Russia does have an undersea capability that would easily lay explosive devices by those pipelines. And I do think it's a signal to Europe that Russia can reach beyond Ukraine's borders.
The Bank of England is intervening in the UK debt market following the government's program of tax cuts. The country is also experiencing a record low plunge in the value of a pound. The move aims to prevent dysfunction and lower the risk of the UK's financial stability.
Coming up next on WTOP 10, find out why the musician Lizzo played James Madison's 200-year-old flute.
And a new treatment may be the answer to delaying Alzheimer's.
Driving a truck for 40 years now. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like that trucks can't stop quickly. It takes my 80,000-pound truck 200 yards to come to a complete stop. So I always do my best to give a lot of cushion. It helps when other drivers realize that and do the same. Please give trucks the space we need so we can all stay safe. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Here's your Consumer and Health Report.
Singer Lizzo made history last night by playing President James Madison's 200-year-old crystal flute at her concert in Washington, D.C.
Lizzo just made history with an unlikely creative collaborator, the U.S. Library of Congress. The National Archival Institution lent the sassy singer a crystal flute first owned by President James Madison in the early 1800s. Lizzo tweeted that she became the first person ever to play the crystallic relic, and after 200 years, I'd say it's about dang time.
We just made history tonight!
The Library of Congress later tweeted confirming the flute was legit and made it back unharmed after stealing the show from Lizzo. And from highfalutin flutin' to scorin' whilst soarin'. Watch a pair of midair daredevils play a sky-high billiards match. The super cool game of pool was just one of the wacky flights of fancy on display at the annual Le Coup Écarré event in the French Alps, which featured 6 days of elaborate and over-the-top hang gliders, paragliders, and wingsuits. The event, now in its 49th year, provides boundless entertainment, but more than that, organizers say it provides an invaluable boon for the local economy, flooding the region with tourists with their eyes on the skies. And finally, they weren't in costume or anything, but a pair of high-flying brothers had their flight cut short when their single-engine Cessna went down in a mountainous forest area in Washington. Neither brother was injured in any way, as the plane's fall was luckily broken by some trees. After being airlifted out, one of the men said the incident was simply a case of, quote, small plane, big mountain. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Lizzo thanked the Library of Congress for preserving the nation's history and reminded her fans that history is cool.
The famous Hocus Pocus Sanderson sisters are allowing guests to book their haunted cottage in an Airbnb. The creepy house in Salem, Massachusetts has recently renovated for the release of Hocus Pocus 2 on Disney Plus starting September 30th. A real witchcraft book, broom, and other props from the movie await those brave enough to stay at the cottage.
A new study by the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that having 2 to 3 cups of coffee can prolong your life. Drinking coffee can decrease the risk of cardiovascular disease as well as lower mortality risk. So next time you're not sure about ordering a coffee for an extra energy boost, remember you could be saving your life.
The FDA is proposing updates to food packages that use the word healthy on their labels. The organization hasn't updated their criteria for companies to market their food as healthy since 1994. They say they feel the health standards have changed, so the criteria must also change. If all elements of the product do not meet the new criteria, the product cannot promote itself as healthy moving forward.
A groundbreaking new treatment for Alzheimer's has been found to slow the progression of cognitive decline by 27%. The new treatment, lecanemab, comes with minimal side effects. Studies show it also offers promising results to patients and their families who are desperate for an effective treatment. There are currently 6 million Americans who struggle with Alzheimer's, and many say this new treatment offers them a glimmer of hope.
New studies are showing that weight training and aerobics are good for your health. In a recent study published by the British Journal of Sports and Medicine, people who lifted weights once or twice a week and did some kind of aerobic activity had a 41% lower chance of dying early. Coming up in sports is WTOP 10's Jacob Bradley.
Jacob, what's going on in Laker sports?
Thanks, guys. Tonight we give you a look at both the men's and women's basketball team as their schedules were released this afternoon. Plus, women's soccer continues to roll to victory. All this and more coming up after the break.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Jacob Bradley, and it's time for your sports report. Some big news as we approach winter sports season in Oswego, as both the men's and women's basketball schedules have been revealed. The women's schedule tips off on November 8th with a home opener slated for the November 11th day against Keystone College, which is the start of the annual Max Zeal Invitational Tournament. As for the men's, they look to build off a very successful 2022 campaign, resulting in an NCAA tournament berth. Their opener is currently penciled in for November 29th against the Fredonia College Blue Devils. Both teams have a lot to prove this year, which should lead to quite the interesting basketball season. Moving on from the hardwood to the pitch as the Lakers took down the Cayuga Wolves 3-0 on Tuesday. The Lakers were led by the dynamic trio of Amber McDermott, Gracia Madden, and Lexi Thompson, each of whom finished Tuesday's contest with a goal. This was the Lakers' 5th shutout on the season, improving their overall record to 6-3-1. They now look forward to a game on Saturday against the Potsdam Bears, kicking off at 1 o'clock, and you can find full coverage of that right here on WTOP 10. Heading down 481 as the Syracuse Mets played host to the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs this afternoon. The Mets cap off their late season slump as they fell just short of the Phillies farm team by a final score of 4-3, putting their season to an end. This will certainly be a season for the Mets to forget, finishing the season with an overall record of 64-85. The future does look bright for the Mets, however, as players such as Jake Mangum and the #1 overall prospect in all of baseball, Francisco Alvarez, definitely give the faithful something to look forward to. Moving from Syracuse to the Major League affiliate, the New York Mets. Much like their minor league counterpart, the Mets could not capitalize against the Miami Marlins, falling to the Fish a final of 6-4. It was Marlins outfielder J.J. Bleday's two-run home run that elevated the Marlins over the Mets. Although the Mets clinched the postseason spot a few days ago, the loss will serve as a costly one, meaning that the Mets are now tied with the Braves for possession of first place in the NL East. And as the season winds down, you know both teams are going to be valuing every single win, knowing that it could be the difference maker. And now we move from the Mets to a team that just clinched last night, the New York Yankees. Aaron Judge, at the time, was looking for his 60th. He hit his 61st tonight, but at this time, he's still looking for it, and he leads off the game. 3-2 count, line drive, snagged right up by Matt Chapman as the world groans, waiting for Aaron to do it again. But then it's the counterpart leadoff hitter, George Springer of the Blue Jays, who leads off his side of the lineup with a solo home run, his 24th on the season, giving them a 1-0 lead. Then it's Gleyber Torres, and boy, did he have a day. Base hit into left field. That'll score Aaron Judge all the way from second. That was his second go-ahead single of the game at this time. The throw-in would get Anthony Rizzo at third. The Yankees take the lead 2-1, but then Gleyber Torres again, this time just finding the hole, the spot of the infield where nobody is, in the right field for a base hit. He had himself quite a night, 3 for 5, 3 RBIs, extends the lead to 5-1, Yankees on top. Then we got the closer in, ground ball from Chapman, scooped up by Torres, throws it on to first, and the Yankees pick up the victory, clinching first place and a postseason spot on the season. 5-2, the Yankees improved to 95-59. Aaron Judge, he's smiling because I think he knows deep down inside that he's less than 24 hours away from making history, hitting his 61st home run. Of course, that came tonight. But the Yankees, they're playing in October, Damon. It's going to be huge.
Oh, it better be huge, and a lot to expect from these New York Yankees heading into the postseason.
Absolutely.
Sure. Very, very good start to the season, and hopefully it rolls out. But that's all we have for our report tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for the Kinda Late Show.
Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, everyone.
Stay classy, Oswego.
I forgot.
Welcome back to the best show on WTOP 10, out on our own Oswego.
Did you hear that Bad Bunny's going to be in Canada over spring break, you know?
I heard that one.
Drink coffee. Good week.
Oh, wow.
Roll it.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty.